one. I'm gonna get mine. Go do the crime. If you can't do the time, don't tell me how you all be down. When you smile in my face, but you play me like a clown, it's your fool, bitch. So just step back. I'm mad that when I come down straight, I thought you were my piece, but you play me out. Now I'm mad as hell, and I'm full of doubt. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Let's see. Let's roll. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Let's see. Let's roll. I'm back on the scene, it's time to get mean. I'm a lean revolution machine. For what people stay, they sway. For today is good as any day. You'll feel slightly disless to resist. Raise your fist and off like this. Promises all the time. Don't cross the line, and you know it's right. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Let's see. Let's roll. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Let's see. Let's roll. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Let's see. Let's roll. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Let's see. Let's roll.
Trouble time. Get something in your rigger. Trouble time. Get something in your rigger. Trouble time. Get something in your rigger. Trouble time. Get something in your rigger.
Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Let's see. Let's roll. Who you wanna roll with? Who you wanna roll with? Let's see. Let's roll. Who you wanna roll with? 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 Who you wanna roll with?
Right on. You're all muted. I'll unmute
And
you.
the question of the day is, what is the medical term for horse pussy?
What's up, Jim? What's up, Bucket Man?
Bucket Man, Jim Miller.
What's going
What
on?
What's going on? I was running a little late today. We were opening up Garden State Natural Greens tomorrow, the soft opening. So prep work being done for that. But yeah, it's been a busy week. Lots going on. And I'm liking the hut. I'm liking the hut.
This is
really in a hut, or is that some sort of green screen fake out?
No, man. This is the new dab bar over here.
No. What he's saying is, I agree with Jim. For the stream, you should have a green screen behind there with like an island or like some like water or something.
Old picture of Bob Marley hanging out somewhere, you know.
Or get like a giant aquarium and then just get a shark and just give off the vibe of a cocaine dealer.
Hey, you know what you should do? Yeah.
This is the dab bar.
Do we have a guest today?
This is called the
It's nice.
The Tea House Club. THC, the Tea House Club. And this is the dab bar for the Tea House Club. We decided to podcast from the dab bar tonight. This is the new dab bar. You can come here Saturday and enjoy the dab bar with us if you'd like.
You got dabs? Are you smoking in the dab bar, or are you dabbing?
You can. Well, we're smoking right now.
Yeah. So, like, you know, I don't care what you call it. It's a smoke bar until you dab.
All right. Well, we did do some dabs before.
Yeah, we
did. Okay. You had to christen it.
Yep.
Christen it. Get it. Chris got Chris there to christen it.
Do we have a guest today?
Yes, Linda will be on. We fixed her issues with the stream, and she's on at 5:30 with us today. I'm
Beautiful.
excited. Yeah.
Well, she's probably had new stuff happen since she was first trying to get on, Stuff we might have missed.
Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna pass this blunt to you this way.
Don't knock over the whole bar, Lefty.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
Way to go.
We haven't done that in a
look,
while.
Look, ended up in the back.
It fell in the back, but that's okay. We passed joints to each other like that for a couple of years in Bayonne. That was fun. And we're gonna do that here now, Mad Hatter. Yay! I missed that. Yeah, where's my yay? We need that. So, is there feedback here?
Yeah.
Feedback.
We need to have the sound effects come in at timely fashion and not slack on that, Lefty. You are haphazardly doing your job.
That's the best William Shatner ever. So the meeting at the CRC just ended like a few minutes ago. We ran over to Freddy's. We smoked a blunt, ran to Freddy's, and we got steak burgers. We got prime rib steak burgers.
They're so good.
Oh,
they're
yeah.
delicious.
Oh,
They're really good.
munchy food. Oh, talk about munchy food.
I had burgers yesterday. The other day I was at when I finished at Puffin in New Brunswick filming the episode there. I went right over to Brass Rail, right across from the Hyatt, and got lamb sliders. Those things are amazing. Lamb. I felt like being a Scotsman. Get me some lamb sliders. It's the best Scotsman I can do. Is Lefty dead?
No.
No, I have the audio. Everything's hidden here. It's pretty
You
cool.
look like you're hiding doing cocaine. Yeah,
No.
you just put a little straw on the table. That's the on point bell.
So we have a pre-roll here that we're going to smoke. It's from The Botanist, and it is Purple Tie. And we're
And you know what?
We're gonna pass it with the car. I'm gonna enjoy this.
I don't smoke a pre-roll enough on here with you guys. I'm gonna smoke one as well. Like get my freaking lighter out.
Okay. Well, hey, look at that. Can't see it. I'm getting up anyway, so check it out.
Yeah. I was about to say, check this.
This one I picked was given me by Puffin for a little thank you. Nate's always good to me over there. And this one's called Strawberry Banana, and it's by Cushy Labs. Oh, the Clear. Sorry, the Clear. Oh, that smells beautiful. Oh my God. That's incredible.
This is very tasty.
This smells literally like how when you put your nose over a strawberry banana smoothie, it smells exactly like that.
Okay, so here we go. Haven't done this in a while. Here comes a joint. And if I get it up, if it goes over hanging over the edge, I win. So let it go. See if it hangs over. It's a winner. It's a winner. It's a winner.
I don't think so.
It's a winner.
I don't know, man.
It's
I like how you made that call before it was even determined.
I don't know, man. You might have to take a look at that.
That's a winner.
Can we get a slow?
That's over the edge. That's over the edge. It's over the edge. Over the edge.
Are on.
It's over the edge.
I don't know. Just the bumper.
Oh, yes. Yes. We need that.
Wait, over the edge. Over the edge. Lefty.
Look at this.
Things that have been said here before. Over the edge.
Look at this. This is going to go up here. Yeah.
Oh, that looks so cool.
So you know what's really cool about that is that all the weed from your green screen is going on the flag. So you just have moving cannabis buds going through that flag.
We need that one too. We need them all. Look,
that one's right here.
he's putting them up everywhere. Well, we'll put this here. That'll go right here. This is a great one. All right, or maybe here. I don't know. We got to cover some white up. Anything that's white, we're gonna cover it up.
When did the hazmat guys come in to clean up the back for the dab bar?
I have a black light that I'm bringing in tomorrow.
I like how I said hazmat team and you identified just what you need to show that it's dirty in there other than your basic instincts.
You should see the things I found in here. But I'm not going to go there. I'm just going to enjoy the new, fresh feeling of going forward with the new dab bar because this is the energy we like.
A bare popsicle stick covered in white substance.
We want this energy. We want the dab bar energy going forward. Yay.
That's the dab bar energy of that, but no, you get the dab bar energy of where you reside, and that's a dirty adult entertainment store.
No, it's not anymore. We need some sage to clean out the
Sage. Like it's a castle or something that you're trying to air out from the horse shit. I gotta get some sage and peat moss.
More than that, bro.
Why? The horse shit in the drawway.
Oh, I give it to you. I would give that to you because
That one's legit. That one's legit.
They'll give it to you.
Okay.
That's the edge. You're on the edge.
All right. So I'll give you the one over here.
That's
then.
a winner.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'll show
And,
you.
like you were literally over by this gray part of the bumper.
Woo-wee. I love it.
If you guys know where you can get a strawberry banana by the Clear pre-roll, this shit is awesome. This is one of the best pre-rolls I've had in a long time, and I don't buy pre-rolls often. Should have staged the place before putting things in your butt. I don't know if that's not what they said, but before
what does
putting
it mean?
everything in there. No, excuse me, Marina.
does that mean?
One of the great things about the Mad Hatter is their ability to improvise on the go and not think things through all the time, and that's what I love about them.
That's art as is purest. You know what I mean?
That's
art.
art right there.
Yeah.
If you can't look at this Hawaiian hut inside what used to be an adult entertainment store with God knows what on the walls, floor, and whatever, and not tell me that's art, I don't know what you're talking about. Then
This is very artsy.
This is creative. This is
it's nuanced. It's Vogue.
Yeah, it is.
it is.
This is the
Very,
coolest
it's very
vibe.
niche.
It's
I'm
a
gonna
very
keep saying different art adjectives. Niche.
it's a vibe. It's not
It's
like
a
any.
vibe,
I've been to
but
dab bars
it's a
that were
vibe.
not this cool.
I know the young ones nowadays are saying aura a lot. It has a lot of aura.
What aura?
Yeah.
Oh, that's definitely drawn from like anime. Yeah, okay. That's the one I can actually understand. That makes sense.
Chef Joey Galliano. Hey, buddy.
I love your profile picture. There's no way anyone could say this was the man who committed the murder because your face is full of smoke.
There's a flag raising.
Oh, yeah. No, we're really having. We're really doing it.
Unless you commit a murder while your face is covered in smoke, which would be pretty dumb.
I wonder if it's like a weed flag.
Yeah, Lefty, you have to do a live stream of that black light.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I want to do like an episode.
I could do it.
And here's a special. If you donate $10 to the Mad Hatter, Lefty will lick the wall.
No.
The mud
Yes, you
flag.
will.
Sounds like that's on your
No
mind.
face, no case. I'm done. That's hysterical. Your Honor, no face, no case. Well, he's got. I mean, you, how can you argue with that? Case dismissed.
Face dismissed.
No, that means you lose your face. The judge's gavel is a powerful thing.
That was a late bell. Sorry.
By the way, before we get too nitty gritty into the topics, I've just been ranting about these two topics. So I'm going to get into them real quick. First of all, hell fucking yeah, Wyoming for telling Elon Musk and Trump no. Wisconsin. That's right, Wisconsin. Awesome. Great job for them. And Cory Booker's over 20-hour speech on the Senate floor.
25 and a half hours.
Savage.
No,
And this is
well,
exactly what
no,
I've been saying
I
this
watched
entire
it.
time.
Unless he came
He
back on, it ended
saw the
around
moment to do
20
something
and-
different, go above and beyond.
All right, everybody's talking at once. Quiet.
It wasn't that long.
Yes, it was. I
No.
watched
Well,
it.
I thought it was
when
awesome. I thought it was incredible.
watching it,
Jim,
he talked for 25 hours straight.
Yes.
We talk for like 5 sometimes.
You know, would have cut him off there after 10 seconds.
All right,
on this
whatever.
fucking show. Corey, shut up now. You talk too much. Yeah.
I thought he was good.
Yeah, he was. I thought it was great because he didn't just read an encyclopedia or something. He actually kept making a rational case, and that was the amazing part. Because I like watching filibusters. You know,
That's
I mean,
another thing, too.
they don't happen that
gotta
much.
He's a
That's
good guy. You
definitely
know, I
something-
got
What
to
I-
know him. I got to know him when he was the mayor in Newark because I was still working there. He really is a really nice guy. I know, like everybody in Jersey always, you know, kind of thinks he's bougie because he's from Haworth.
Did you
know,
see
with
the
the
West Wing episode about because I think they kind of almost did a little parody for a second of West Wing, because they did a thing there where a Republican to Democratic President Jeb Bartlett has a really respectable senator for neither party was doing a filibuster, and he was not a young man, and when it was found out that, oh, that's why he's doing it, the Democrats said, oh, we get it now. And they couldn't warn him, you know, we're going to ask you a question, yield the floor. So they got somebody that he would trust, and he was tired. So when I watched that, guy, listen, will you yield? And Corey's like, well, I'm not yielding the floor. I'm just saying that but I'm not yielding my position, you know. And the other guy's like smiling, going, Corey, I want to ask you a question. And he's, and it was so long, and he was so tired. I was really on the edge of my seat, you know.
It was awesome.
Do you know that for 48 hours he didn't eat.
Yeah.
For the 24 hours beforehand, he didn't drink any fluids either, so that he could maintain himself up there.
Yeah.
And the only thing he did was like sip water, you know, and swish it around his mouth, you know, like we all do.
Yeah.
I thought he was good. He was awesome. He was awesome.
He was amazing.
Well, again, he didn't a lot of, and you know.
But it wasn't a filibuster. You realize that, right?
What's that?
It wasn't a filibuster.
Oh, no, but it's perception. I always go with perception. A lot of times when I say something, I'm like, because that's the perception that works best. You know, I don't falsely create a perception.
Didn't Ted Cruz do that filibuster that time with the ham and eggs?
Yeah.
Green eggs and ham or whatever the fuck that story was.
That was it. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
See, that's the difference right there.
Huh. That's
I
all.
mean, there actually was stuff worth listening to, and I couldn't believe how he could run it on and on. And at times, I'm thinking he's hurrying what he's saying. Corey, say some shit for later. You got a long time ahead of you. That was really weird because I knew nothing about it. I started to see it about 4 hours.
A little while before, right? Yeah.
Oh, no, I was tuning in the whole time I had the clock on.
Mm-hmm.
I looked up Strom Thurmond's thing, you know, saw how long that was. And then that's when I realized, okay, so the record he's breaking was set by Strom Thurmond, a renowned racist from South Carolina.
I know.
But
I know.
Yeah, and it was against the 1957 Civil Rights Act.
Civil Rights Act.
Yes. So could you stand any more symbolism in one thing, you know?
Yeah.
What was incredible for me was that I went to bed.
It was pretty cool.
It was.
That was
I
incredible
love
for me was
watching
I went-
history, and not just history. The really good kind. See, I predicted, you know, he would go over 25 hours because you don't want to go like, okay, I was only here just to break the record.
Mm-hmm.
But I really like how he did have it timed out, and I knew it was going to stop.
And do you know that immediately his staff sent out thank yous to? Did you get one?
No.
Okay, I did. It even
rub
said
it in.
Stu. But that's how fast like thank yous went out to his audience. Like, and you know that's unheard of. You know, you don't get.
That's just smart. He had good people planning this with him.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, however they did it, and I'd love to have seen, you know, like when you get ready for a debate, you do mock stuff. He had to like really, you know, test this out somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like, can he ramble? Can he do that?
Yeah, he practiced.
Have all the notes you
Sure.
want. And what I really loved about the first question was it was never a question. It went on and on. And, you know, I'm imagining somebody almost with a gavel ready to. So here's the question. When you said back in the day, remember when we were talking about, and then he just starts talking, and then so for the question is right now the question, and then he wouldn't do it again. It was like hilarious. It was like doing this, you know.
What was incredible for me was that I went to bed, and I was before I went to bed, I was watching a little bit of it, and I put it down, and I got up at about I actually got to my desk to make and went to go make breakfast about like 7 a.m. I saw it was live, and I was like, okay, so someone must be doing a replay or like some like late cast or something. And then I saw later, and I'm like, oh my, it blew me away, and I think that definitely added to it. Just like the 2 times I actually checked in. And because I saw the first thing that was posted was a marathon speech. I did not begin to think from that point it would go on that long, and it was just really, really cool.
I was expecting
it was good because you know what, Bernie and AOC have been out there and they've been doing a good job.
Yes.
Bernie's an old guy though. He's 83 years old. Somebody,
I will say,
one of the interviewers said to him, "Are you leading the resistance?" He didn't answer at first, and then he said, "I'm 83 years old. No, I'm not leading anything. I'm here."
He's a wise referral referral reference right now, and we need him. But the thing that really made me laugh, though, was what was it? Elon was on the news last night, getting really emotional because Tim Walz had ran around on stage with his stock, an image of his stock plummeting, and he goes, "What kind of monster takes joy in other people's suffering?"
Yeah, right. Okay.
That's like there's
we speak.
The same kind of monster that's trying to take away veterans' benefits and Social Security. Maybe someone worse. I don't know.
They just slashed the NIH even more today, where the NIH just might collapse if this continues. They have 28 justices that are like in charge of different departments in the NIH.
Right.
You all know what the NIH is, right? National Institute of Health, where they do all the research and blah, blah, blah. So 4 of them were let go who were, in good standing. And of course, they see more coming. They just feel like it's just going to collapse because all the funding has been, pulled.
Lefty, put that up for me real quick.
Put what up?
The image I just sent in.
Oh, sorry.
If you hadn't seen the other department he had recently abolished or terminated recently.
That.
That one, that was it. Jim, you're muted.
It's good. That's good. That's cute.
That's a good thing I guess then. No, seriously. I said, get that out of my fucking face is what I was saying. It's like full screen. I'm leaning in. What I heard myself say, and it sounded funny when I was watching Trump. I wanted to hear what he had to say because when he starts rambling at his 4:00 thing, I heard myself. It was a little cavalier. I was leaning back and it wasn't on loud enough, and Kathy had the control. And I said, "Oh, turn that up, man. I don't want to lean into that fucker." In other words, I didn't want to do that. I wanted my pose all the way back here, And then it was kind of fun because, we had reactions to the same thing. But, like I explained, the worse it is, the more it makes some people want to go, "Oh, that's horrible." I'm like, yeah, it'll do it. One more lap around your neck with that rope you're putting on, it's I'm wondering which of that stuff would explode first, but it's a show unto its own.
Yeah, we'll see.
That's
we'll
it.
See. There's we have some petitions going around. You know what? If they're demanding that students that protest can't wear masks, well, ICE agents wear masks, so neither can they. So that's going around. We're trying. We're trying to pop some stuff.
I really, and one, because I don't like particularly just running too long with this, but it was something interesting. I forget where, but it was on YouTube somewhere I was finding, and it was at a deposition where they showed first Donald Trump saying, "I think I have one of the best memories ever." People always say, and he just said, like he had the best memory, like
Yeah, the
ever.
best in the whole
But no,
wide
but
world,
wait a
ever.
second.
Ever.
I know, but it's a good thing he did, because in a deposition now, he's at a deposition, and you can hear the question: "Is it true that you said you had the best memory ever?" And he goes, "I said no."
I don't recall.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
So the answer to the question is, did you say you have the best memory?
And that's the
He
thing
said,
that's really.
I don't remember. Yeah,
I don't recall.
it was hilarious. No, I think he said remember, actually.
Did he say that? Okay.
Yeah, no,
And that's the thing
that's what made it funny. He
Mhm.
said, "Do you have the best memory ever?" I don't remember saying that.
That's the thing that blows me away, though, is that's literally a point
It's
that's not
hilarious.
being touched on. Like Sue, you can say as a healthcare professional, and I've watched this within other people of relations and stuff. When someone deals with that health struggle, maybe they're sometimes in a high-ranking CEO position. That when they settle into that point of whether it's dementia, Alzheimer's, or whatever, they settle in the position that they're in, whether it be father, CEO, wherever they're working. That's where that kind of decay kind of settles in, and they do it in that routine. He's doing it in the role of the president, so he's really like either this is like the most dangerous person to be doing this, or the most functioning person with dementia, which take that for what you will. It's very clear. It bothers me that this is not a subject that's clearly touched on, especially when he's saying things like the signal doesn't work, and it's just literally being put out in front of us.
Yeah. I mean,
there.
Goldberg got right on. I saw him on television on Sunday morning. They interviewed him. He had everything there. He wasn't lying about what happened.
No.
He had everything. He's not, I'm sorry. I really think that whoever was in that chat, he was intentionally added, because that's crazy. That's just
whether
crazy.
he, I could believe it either way, but whether he was or not, like you don't need to be even in the military. You could have watched Mission Impossible 2 and know that when someone says like attack plans and things like that, that's kind of a secret, and you shouldn't be using that over a public platform, especially when one of them was literally in Russia on the app. I know. So, like, I really ultimately, Pete Hegseth needs to resign. That's just the end of this. That right there. It's maybe they don't like Michael Waltz or whatever his name is. I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, he's the SecDef, and he's flexing emoticons at death and destruction, whether it be at a terrorist organization or whatever, and being just unknowingly or knowingly public about it. But again, that's an objection to take if you assume that they care about the face of things, and they don't.
No, they don't. They don't give a shit about us. You know what? Not for nothing. They've been working on this for years. So, like, everything he signed, that was already, those documents were already made. They were not made by him.
It's being done up front. It's not being done behind closed doors. It's almost admirable in a way, not making anybody work for it.
It makes me wonder, though, why
and now PM Bondi, the other, well, I'm blonde, I should shut up. The other blonde bimbo, she is now looking to file charges against Hillary Clinton for her emails.
See, that's the fun stuff that I love. I mean,
you know what, they
do have to laugh at that.
I would have thought it was fake news, but it was like a televised thing. So I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Barbie, please go find Ken and
you know what?
Go right off into space.
I really get upset when I hear her talk when it's things like, oh, why are you guys just not going to obey judge's orders? Excuse me, who does the judge work for? Well, no, that's not a work for thing. It's more of a take. It's the tone. It's the tone she takes. Mm-hmm. It's the indifference she shows to anyone else. Mm-hmm. And it's the fact that she's basically just abolished the thought that this is the literally the face and voice of the president when he's not literally on TV.
Can't let that get to you, dude.
That voice isn't worth much either.
I'm looking around. You're most upset about this, and I know we all are. But you're letting it. Don't let it get to you. It takes you away from shit you can have an effect on.
I don't let it get to me. I just choose to express myself in a way that.
No, I mean, but I can see it, and that's good. But if you could corral that and direct it on something you have at least this much chance of moving the needle, there's nothing. I mean,
Jim, would you like
you,
to?
you want to be part of it.
I actually do have something. Would you like to hear about it? I actually been talking to Lefty about this. So
does it have to do with
on the
medical
7th,
cannabis in New Jersey by any chance?
So, as we've all witnessed at these town council meetings in Edison, we've noticed a great overreach and a just abuse of our people's First Amendment rights, silencing, things like that. Really just abuse of use of the police and them not really caring either. I may have shared this with you guys before, but if not, I'll tell you, I'm a licensed notary of the state. Now, what a notary is officially is a witness of the state. Now, I am of the belief that as of right now, anyone who is upholding an oath or some sort of order should be going above and beyond in any way they can to do what they can right now. I'm going to take that term witness very literally, and I'm going to go there on the 7th. I have a speech written, and I'm going to list the things that I've seen, the problems that I see within them, the stifling of people if it does not if it begs to harm a member of their circle or someone within their interest, and I'm going to call them out for it. I'm going to say that the officers should be heavily disciplined or resign, and say that I'm not going to demand the council take any change, but I am going to demand it. Yeah. I am going to say what I've seen here, and that it as a witness of the state that I am disgusted.
That's doing something.
Mm-hmm. Good.
I mean, being visible like that.
And I'm going to take my stamp.
Doing something. It adds up. It's part of a head count of people getting out and doing stuff. I mean, anybody can walk out to a road anywhere they want and hold up a sign, and that's doing something. Don't I know that?
That was good, Jim.
Yeah, right. No, I hear how it sounds.
That would be an interesting study. No, actually, that would be an interesting study. And maybe the results seem obvious to us now, but I'd like to see a study of like one person standing outside in a costume doing a corporate sign wave and someone with a legitimate cause, and see if they get equally less attention or one gets more than the other. I wonder.
I had somebody throw an apple at me driving by one time.
Yeah.
I did a lot of solo showing up at the 10th district legislative office with and without Cheryl, and then afterwards, I just went by myself whenever I felt like it. But stuff would get thrown at you, and I'll tell you, man, when you hear something thump off your chest, I mean, it wasn't like a fastball exactly. If I could have caught it, I'd had an apple to eat.
By the way, Bear entered here a while ago, and no one had said hi to him. I was mid-conversation.
Hi, Bear.
Bear, how you doing? Sue, you may have. I'm sorry. I was mainly getting to the point that I didn't say anything. How you doing, Bear?
Where is he?
I
there he goes.
I let him in.
So,
yeah, I was just listening.
We're glad to see you, man. So yeah, but otherwise, I'm glad to see that there are still people, whether they're choosing to obey them or not, standing up to them and saying, what they, holding up in some way the Constitution and the rule of law. I'm glad to see not everyone's buckling. I do wish, though, one aspect that's not being called out enough also is, and I feel like if it is called out, it's not called out till the results are shown, is the people who are making these trips to Mar-a-Lago or the White House, because they're not just going there to hang out and donate money for nothing. They're going there, like Mark Zuckerberg went there recently because Europe's after him for some privacy stealing nonsense that he's doing.
Their baby oil.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I definitely think that like there needs to be people posted or looking and saying like, hey, why did they go there? What's going on? Like, this is more. If anything, it's not talked about until like, oh, that's why they went there. Huh? That's crazy.
I had to play the full version of that. Sorry, it was disgusting.
No, you're good. You're good. I mean, then what's going on is disgusting.
Well, there's a lot of protests that are coming up, so I hope you guys will, be there somewhere.
Protests and parties. Don't forget Saturday. Saturday here at Mad Hatter, here at the Tea House Club.
Oh yeah,
THC. Ho ho.
is that all day?
Yeah.
Get it?
4 or 5. There's a protest on the 5th.
I have to work the morning.
In
I'm
50
trying
states.
to get,
In
trying to get
50
off.
states, protests.
When, Saturday?
Yeah, April 5th.
I got to
I will say
I'm going to a
Hey,
birthday.
Tono, it is reassuring to see that at least the Supreme Court came out and it made the rare statement they did weeks ago. I mean, yes, there's a lot of courts that are out of order right now, but I think the real ones that really matter are holding their ground, and that in some ways, I mean, there's cases coming up for the Supreme Court, so as always, we'll wait and see. But again, if a judge of the Supreme Court is going to come out and make a statement like that, that's unprecedented, and I think people should take note of that.
Saturday's no good for me. I got a birthday celebration of somebody. First time I've ever been to a 100th birthday party.
Wow.
So, yeah.
For a 100th birthday party.
What's that?
What do you do for a 100th birthday party? Like sing quietly and like?
Yeah,
I
just
don't
sit
know
there.
how.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna find out. I don't know. It's
I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna get really high and I'm gonna find out.
well,
Jim is going to report back to us. next
I was specially requested to be there. I mean, it's going to be out somewhere, and
Outside or in
at a nice place. I
Okay.
forget the name of it, but
Who is this 100th birthday? Can I
there's
guess that?
a woman that Kathy knows from water aerobics at the Y. Her name's Marge, and I've known her since she was 94.
Thank you, Jessica.
94, but yeah, I did work on her shed during COVID, and we hit it off. How do you hit it off with somebody so initially? But I think it was COVID that helped because it was right out where nobody knew quite what was going on. So she was on about 4 feet up the stoop of a porch, and I was out in the yard, so we could talk. We were maybe like 15 feet apart. And I just didn't like it. It was like I was up. So I looked at her like this, and she leaned in and looked at me. And I said, put my hand on my mask and said, "I'll show you mine if you show me yours."
Yeah.
And I pulled my mask down and gave her a big smile and put it back up, and she did the same thing. And then,
Nice.
we just, she's a woman who, like, her grandmother was a slave, and it's, I don't know how many people are going to be there, but it's going to be a really interesting crowd because I've met some of her children who were like, I guess my age, it's like really,
Right.
but they're like doctors and smart people, PhD stuff, so like, it's,
Well, yeah, when you live, I imagine you live to 100, you're gonna have a very vast crowd of friends.
yeah, well, at least a family tree worth seeing, and so anyway, yeah, I hope I drive by a protest. I guess I'll honk my horn,
What do you get someone for their 100th birthday?
money.
Fair.
What don't you have by the time you're 100? You could really use. I don't want to say stuff like, "We'll get something her next of kin might like." I mean, I don't know what to say. I don't even.
You know what? I think now thinking about it, I think that's like the one place where my lawyer filed love vocation.
I got my mask.
That's really funny. That's really, really,
This is the
really
original
funny.
mask. And what Mikey just wrote really makes me laugh because yes, April Fools, Lavalette, April Fools.
That's really, really funny.
Yeah, jump on, Mikey, if you can. I'd love to speak to you about that. That's
I
great.
think that's the one age group that it's okay to give someone like a goat donated in their name or something, because like or a tree or something, because like that's, I think they're at that point where that would be meaningful to them, where like they're passing on, and that's something that in one way or shape or form they could leave behind with their name. and Lefty's doing that thing Rampador with postage stamps all over his face. What
Yep.
is, I'm gonna shit myself UPS overnight.
That was the original El Rampador mask with all the stamps.
What was with the postage stamps?
Yeah, that was when me and Mikey went to Englewood Post Office, and they almost arrested us. But every time we go to a post office now, I put a stamp on my face.
You need to I'll tell you right now, go to Urban's Instagram. They have this guy who comes to the shop every now and then. He's huge. He's huge muscular dude. I think El Rampador needs to meet him. I don't know much about him, but I think someone with a wrestling mask needs to meet that guy.
So all people that wear wrestling masks need to meet, like kind of like when Santa Claus gets together and has those what are they called, the crawl, the Santa Claus crawl. We could do that with Lucha Libre masks.
I just think no. I think it's more like the vibe of like wrestler vibe versus like MMA fighting vibes.
It's the same link. Same link. It's always the same link, Mikey. Same link as last time.
Reminds me
It's
of
all the Santa Claus
Nacho Libre.
operations.
Santa Con. Santa Con.
What was that thing in the Jingle All the Way where he had he was making black market toys and with his crew of midgets that played elves.
Oh, wow.
Oh, what an incredible Christmas movie. Jingle All the Way. I had to get the toy. Hey, I saw you yesterday.
There he
Yeah, I
is.
forgot it's- I forgot
Julio.
it's always the same link.
Oh,
I saw Bung Julio. We ran into each other while I was filming my episode for Puffin.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we did.
Small world.
Yes.
Small stoner
We
world.
had a nice little chat. And now we're
It
here.
was like a little party in that dispensary for like 20
And they
minutes.
had I was happy with how many staff were there for that episode. I actually have to release it in 2 parts. I released the first part last night. The second part's in the works. Which the first episode I'm gonna have to do in 2 parts.
Yeah, I like going to that dispensary when I need when
You're
I'm in
well
a pinch.
equipped.
When I'm in a pinch, I'll go there though. Out of all of them,
Where do you go? Okay, so if that's the case, where do you go when you're like, all right, I want to be a little bit bougie?
I usually just go from. I just usually go to the same guy who I get my bud from.
No. When I want to save money, I'll go to the dispensary. When I want to get something really classy, I'll go to the streets.
I mean, I go to the dispensary only when I'm in a pinch, when I don't feel like taking an hour and 20-minute drive. You know, but I got my Lavalette cases filed.
Yes, that was a
Thank
funny post. I enjoyed
In 1983, deprivation of civil rights, baby.
What does it say? Can you read it?
Let's see. Well, I can tell you. I sent you. There's 8 counts. There's like false arrest, malicious prosecution, conspiracy to violate civil rights, inadequate training, unlawful policy. Yeah, I just sent you a screenshot of that before just to show you the date that it's filed and everything. And I just love that it's filed on April Fool's Day. It's so funny to me.
It's great because
That's really,
defendants
really
are Walter LaCicero, John Bennett, Donnelly Amico, Christian LaCicero, and Adam LaCicero. The mayor, the chief, and the sergeant, all family.
All family, all named.
inbred.
What'd you say? What?
I did all family. I was like inbred.
Well, we don't know that for a fact.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me with the moves they're making. You know.
They're just criminals. They're just criminals operating under the color of law. That's it. Everybody always told us over the years,
They're not
don't
inbred,
go to
they're
that
just
town. Don't go to that town. I can't tell you how many times people warned me and Lefty, do not step foot in that town. I'll be there.
really wild.
it's a shame to have something like that happen or whatever. But they had ample opportunity to do the right thing.
Well, I'm gonna be calling them out on. I told you I'll be calling them out Monday.
Oh, I think
Edison?
she emailed you about a file about his Joshi's loan, alleged loan fraud.
Uh-huh.
Interesting. That's another guy.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Some of these mayors are
Fool me
really
three times. You can't fool the fooler.
Shame on me. You can't.
You can't fool the fooler.
We won't get fooled again. I was like, okay.
That was a different kind of stupid, a more functional stupid. George,
what are you doing? Chilling in your dab bar, Lefty?
This is the new dab bar. Check it out, baby.
Hell yeah! What's going on, Chris?
I'm George W. Bush. This is my dab bar. Very Texas. Awesome. Love it. Go ride horses and hit bongs and blunts for America.
We won't get fooled again.
We won't get fooled again by the terrorists.
That's all you got to say. Just say we won't get fooled again, and you're in.
Our country is. See, George W. Bush nowadays. To picture that would. We will not have these transgendered M&Ms flying over our borders and dealing fentanyl. I won't let it happen.
Hey, Ed, Ice-T is opening a dispensary in Jersey
On the
City.
19th.
Yeah, saw that.
And you know what sucks about that? I want to go to it, but that's the day I'm being featured at Castaway Cannabis. Yeah.
Yep. Sorry to hear that. Don't worry, it's not going nowhere.
It's going to be fun. Oh, Lefty, you look up the Budzuka. It's a smoke gun. I think you should get one for the area over there. It would be excellent.
What, will you put like an ounce of weed in a gun and shoot it at everybody?
I don't think this one has to be an ounce. It's like the cookie one that you see, but except not with cookie on it or anything.
I hate those.
It's like $200. It looks awesome.
I actually don't support those things because, like, there's a lot of patients that look at that and they're like, "Boy, I could sure use a couple of hits of that weed, that ounce of weed that they're just blowing into the air."
That's fair. I never was one to blow it into the air. It was more just a showy way to shoot it into your mouth,
like a Tommy gun.
Still to this day, I'm not sure what people are flexing in that moment. I don't quite get it.
I don't think anyone's flexing with it. I think it's just a cool eye catcher, and you shouldn't use weed for it. It's just that you should hook it up to a vaporizer or something. But weed should absolutely not be used for that. It should be just like raw, like something that you can breathe and burn, but not weed.
If you want to put sage in there, if you want to get that gun and put some sage in there and squirt sage around this place, okay, I can agree with you about that. Let's do that.
That would be epic.
Are you trying to get me? Are you trying to get me to aromatherapy that place for free? Because if
that's with the idea, Lefty. Sage the hell out of that place with a blowgun. That's the move.
Yeah, a blowgun is not going to save that back room.
It's going to need to be heavy rapid fire.
The ground in the back room is softer than the other side.
Dude, I'll buy a bale of sage right now.
And then replace the floor. Like, that's soft. The floor shouldn't be soft. Was that's been said in here before, Bell?
I don't know what that bell is, but
what's that bell?
Having a heart attack.
It's the inappropriate bell. Things that have been said in this room before. Anytime you say something that's been said here before, it hit the bell.
Can we? Why don't we just get you a button that just says no, not appropriate?
Hit the bell.
How is that not appropriate?
It's been said here before.
But it's
so I got a black light. All I need is some batteries, and I'm gonna go take a walk in there and see what's really going on in there.
What's interesting is that Lefty's going to do that on camera, and then he's not going to realize about what he's done the past week, and then he's going to half his body's going to be glowing.
I want to film that, like, episode of Ghost Hunters.
And Lefty's just gonna be standing there like, you guys see anything? And it's just like half of it is gonna be lit up.
Call it post hunters.
It's coming from the rooms over there.
And then we're gonna be like, Lefty, we've been looking through your Google Maps, and like the last place you literally went other than your house and the dispensary was the zoo.
We need more sage. More sage.
More sage, please.
What were you doing at
Just
the
get
zoo,
more
Lefty?
sage.
Oh man. Yeah, we need to do that for this building for sure. It's almost there. The dad bar really took it over the edge of not being.
It's coming
I
together.
think the Mad Hatter also needs an animal mascot. I vote you guys try to get a monkey.
This place has a vibe now, and I have a few more tapestries to hang. But once I hang them up over here, it's gonna be amazing. A monkey living in here, pooping all over. They have to wear diapers. Monkeys have to wear diapers, right? Because they poop everywhere. Step one:
devote your life to raising a baby monkey.
Fish tank. That'd be pretty cool.
We'll name him Lefty too, righty.
They never grow up. They never learn to use the toilet. They will still fling feces at you.
But there is the chance you could train it, and then you could advertise your joints are rolled by a monkey.
You bring the monkey to a council meeting and start flinging crap all over the room.
Yeah, you can.
Oh yeah, what's gonna happen at the council meeting? It's just like, monkey, how do you plan to follow the CRC's rules? Yeah, that's a compelling argument, but that doesn't really hold much water. I'm gonna be honest with you.
As long as he's flinging poo, I'm good because you can't get in trouble.
Why is that? Why do you want him to do that?
Because you can't get in trouble for that.
Why do you want someone not to get in trouble for flinging? Go find homeless people like you usually do.
Yeah, I don't think you can get in trouble. You might confront issues, but not necessarily
get
trouble.
Baker acted.
Especially if you train your monkey to fling poo at someone in a suit.
Yeah. Train him to throw it at ties.
In a suit.
Just throws crap when he sees a tie.
He's like the Jimmy Kimmel of monkeys, just running around in a little talk show suit, just throwing shit at people. Monkey news.
Monkey news.
We built a basics for a conservatory at this place, a house that had a monkey that they allowed to just Bobby the monkey. And he had a little harness on and a leash only because it made it easier to, but he loved watching us work. And him and me became some pretty good friends.
You and the monkey?
Oh, yeah. Bobby,
Oh, yeah.
he was out the whole time. He took my tape one time and he goes sideways walking away with it. Bobby, drop it. And he kind of looks like that, stops and puts it down. And there, okay.
Tim, how long ago was this?
Like one of those little monkeys? The little ones are cute.
Yeah, he was like
But no,
about this big.
Yeah.
that's like a full. Yeah, that's a chimp.
But
That's a person.
he'd hop up on you, and he had handlers, a house in Middletown, and they had a certain amount of animals to be considered for tax purposes for what do you call it, the land tax on their property as a farm, I guess, or something. If you have a certain, so that counted. He had his own thing inside, but he'd hear us come up. He loved watching what we did. So I got two pictures. One of him with a shovel down, looking at it, and one what he did is he saw me step on it because it pops up to you, and then I looked at him and I got my camera. I could see it coming. Yeah, he actually stepped on it, and I got a picture of his hands out like this, and the broom, the shovel handle is blurred, coming right at him. I got I got a picture that one of the first things I posted on Facebook was.
Jim, when was this?
It was probably about 20 years ago. I think Cheryl died.
That's a little like, I'm not saying it's not believable.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is it's more digestible in that time frame because
I
feel
want
like
but to digest this, how cool he was.
Yeah.
Lunchtime comes and they go out get subs to eat. And they're sitting in the truck, and I'm not going to sit in there and eat. I'm going to hang with Bobby, you know, and then I'll have mine when we're done. So I'm sitting just sort of like not working. And Bobby gets up and he sees them eat, and he's all over the mirrors, and he's looking in. Then he looks at me and he looks at them, and he scurries over to me and sits down and hugged me.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
He thought I was the outcast.
Oh, that's so sweet.
It's
That's
really
really
cool, yeah.
sweet.
So
That's
anyway,
adorable.
they got a really nice picture of me. I guess Rick did, and I was leaning down because like they had these little round, I guess gummy like things that he liked, and you could give them to him, you know. So I put one in my mouth like that, see what he'd do, and he was like coming up like this. Now I was on my side, and they took a picture. And the funny part was they have a Dalmatian, and he was like this far for get ready to sniff my ass, you know. And so the picture is funny, but what I did is said, it's more common than you think. They work in pairs. The monkey distracts you while the dog gets your wallet. And it looked just like it because the monkey was doing this, and I'm like, wow, and this dog's right up behind me, you know. I'll repost that sometimes. It was pretty killer.
Jim,
Yeah,
you know what?
it's-
It makes sense for you. Like, you're very much the type of like the vibe I read for you is that in another life you were on a talk show and you were showing a picture of that monkey and you and having a whole story about it like Reagan did or something like that. That's very much you in another
I
life.
found out one thing too. Bobby, when I first met him, because the handler came out, he had like this cool little ski jacket. It's kind of chilly, you know.
I love that.
Yeah, and I said, "Oh, look at that, a cool little jacket he's got," you know. And then later on, not that long because he's out with us, he didn't have his jacket, and I didn't think much. And she said, "Where'd your jacket go, Bobby?" But I mean, they're having a communication thing, and he didn't feel like telling her because he was one of us. We don't have a jacket. Yeah, we were like working, had short sleeve shirts on. So she never found it. But she had to like she got a ladder and got up on a 2-story house, not a real steep roof. Sometimes he hides stuff behind the chimney, you know, because Bobby can just get up on top of the house and do all that. Yeah, it was really cool. We took like probably an extra 2 days. We did that job slow. It was just a lot of fun. You know?
That's awesome.
You know,
Yeah,
it's really,
yeah,
it's
you take
really
your time when
amazing
there's
how-
a monkey around.
Yeah,
It's really
well,
amazing though how animals, you know, we can't read their signals unless somebody explains it to us. But I was watching this one guy on crutches, and he had a cat, and he had his leg, you know, elevated, of course, as he was hobbling along, and the cat was walking behind him with her foot up.
No, yeah, I watch her on YouTube all the time. It's not uncommon.
Yeah,
Dogs
it's out
do
of
that.
respect, right?
Yeah, and
Same thing if you go.
they walk
if
if
you have a dog, notice if you go into the bathroom, the dog always like stands around somewhere near you or, you know, by the door or something with his back turned to you, because that's what innately they know what to do. That's what they do for each other in the packs. You know, they watch to make sure nobody's going to come and bother the other, you know, the dog that's going. But like, it's pretty cool what they do.
Yeah.
Jim says at one point, he put it in his mouth to see what he would do, and then Lefty dings the bell.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah,
You know? I didn't hear
He's
that.
on
you know?
that
Oh,
bell.
also,
told the monkey story.
monkeys can eat insulation
Be right back.
without a problem, because I was horrified when because we had
Really?
insulation. Yeah, he picked up. Yeah, he ate it and never had any. You know, stomach was probably warm. You know, I don't know, insulation.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Insulation. What is insulation even made of? I don't, because I don't.
fiberglass.
Yeah, it's fiberglass.
It's fiberglass.
Yeah.
So so if the monkey eats the fiberglass, so like, what does that mean for us? Like when walls are exposed and there's
Well, you don't want to breathe it,
Right.
Yeah,
because
and
what? It'll be in your lungs, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
you kind of
It's like the
you don't
plastic thing, like plastic, like we have plastic all over
yeah.
us
Well,
It's
you know,
blood.
Brain.
in our blood,
Our brain.
made-
Yeah, right.
in our lungs,
Everywhere.
in our
Well,
bellies.
nowadays they use a lot of spray foam insulation.
Oh, that'd be way preferable. Yeah.
It's way more healthy.
Yeah, I had a
That's
problem.
good.
I didn't realize being.
I feel
stupid
better
like-
now, Mikey, that you told me that.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
got in contact with insulation in a way you shouldn't, because it comes, like with, a lot in a big pillow-looking plastic thing, several things, and it was it was a hot summer day, and I didn't think, well, this stuff's put together in a factory. There's insulation everywhere, so yeah, don't lay down on it, to take a nap on lunch, because especially without a shirt on a hot summer day. Oh man, it's so bad that I had to stand between two studs and just push on them as hard as I could. It'll go away, right? It'll go away, right? Eventually it did, and I broke one of the. Just broke right through one. It was like, that was severe. And not for nothing, but this kind of podcast it is. Somebody at a big place, people, there's not toilets everywhere, and a guy came out of a crawl space where he had a bowel movement, and apparently he didn't know you shouldn't wipe your ass with insulation. And he went to a hospital. Seriously, he had. Yeah, right. How do you not know that?
I bet the hospital has seen it more than once.
Yeah, but who gets the call, Sue, at a hospital? What do they like? Take the
EMTs
a younger resident. You got to pay your dues. You go get it.
The nurse first has to triage the patient. Okay, so usually it's somebody really, kind of wacky that needs to be watched, and that patient comes in, and eventually somebody will get to them, but they're not on the.
I wish I hadn't brought this up.
So what do they do? What's the first step? What's the first step to getting insulation out of someone's butthole?
They would do a digital. Put a glove on.
Do it digitally for sure, man. From another county.
Put a glove on and just scoop it out.
Like a cactus with needles, or there's a lot of
No. They would put a glove on. Whoever was examining the butthole would put a glove on and would
ding, lefty.
If they can't get it out, then that patient has to go for some
psychological evaluation.
To see if there's anything else up there.
Next time examining the butthole is mentioned, you better ring that bell, Lefty.
Yeah, right.
That just reminded me of Jackass when Steve-O did what he did.
Yeah. All because I talked about a monkey.
Wait, what did Steve-O do?
In Jackass, nobody's seen it.
What did Steve-O do in Jackass?
He shoved two cars or a car in a condom, put it up his butt.
Oh.
And then he went to the doctors.
Why are guys so weird?
That's a hell of a pivot, All right, no more talking
I worked
about
in some
the
pretty
insulation.
crazy ERs, and you'd be surprised what you find up there.
I hope to be. I hope I'd be surprised.
That's normal. That's an average night at the ER.
Yeah.
I'd know how to act surprised.
You can't act
surprised. Oh, that's horrible.
You gotta act like you've seen it a million times.
Yeah,
act like it's just procedure.
Doug Stanhope has a.
No, you laugh. You do laugh. You gotta laugh.
Doug Stanhope.
You can't work in places like that if you don't laugh.
You ask the patient if he wants the car back.
Yeah.
He got his car back.
The Matchbox car back. Or...
Yeah.
What, Chris?
He had to shit it out again. You got to shit it out.
Oh.
So where's the guest tonight? She has to come on soon.
I guess she's coming on in 5 minutes. I don't know, Lefty. You talked to her yesterday.
We tested everything out. She's going to use her laptop, and everything worked. Everything tested out.
You don't.
Now I gave her your number a week ago.
You know what I'd do if I were her? I'd watch the podcast a little first. So maybe she watched the podcast.
No,
that wouldn't be good today.
That would be good.
I'm just saying. Look, let's do a field vision check here. That would make sense, right? She's not late. She's not coming back.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see.
What do I get if I'm right?
Nothing.
Terrific.
Lefty has something.
Yeah, I know. It'll be that stuff that burns that they have, and
With the flaming
hot-
anus chocolates?
That's it. Yeah. I'm also proud I didn't remember the name.
Has anyone eaten that yet?
Yeah.
I saw you got some more.
Yeah, Rob ate one. He's not even scared of it.
He just ate it like for taste.
He just tried it and he was like, yeah, no problem.
Oh, so you eat it? It's not a spa story? Okay.
I tasted it and it was awful. It was no way, I ain't touching that.
Spicy.
Very.
And you're still gonna push it on people though, even though you know it's terrible.
You'll get a gently used tree roll if you eat that.
That's an ass move right there.
Gently used.
I like that, like on air. Listen, I've tried this thing. It tastes like garbage, but if you want, you can get a creepily used pre-roll.
I respect that authenticity personally.
I don't. I think it's kind of like its own sentence of jail worthy.
Transparency at its best.
You can be transparent about a crime and still go to jail. Kind of what addition is all about.
Because the system's
Transparency
corrupt.
about what you did.
That's her.
Yeah.
Is that the sound? Is that the sound when somebody coming on the show?
It's like the Gong Show.
One of us has a trap door below us. Who is it? You know?
Wow.
She
I'll
has
tell
two.
you.
These guys are too young for the Gong Show, right? You guys don't
The
know.
what? The what
The
show?
Gong Show.
The gong.
I know what show you're talking about, but
I didn't know that was an actual
funny.
show.
That
I
was-
thought it was just like
that
some
was
sort
me
of
and-
like.
Jim and I,
Lee
and
Jean, the
Lady
dancing
Lefty.
machine was my favorite part, man. Mean Gene, the dancing machine, come out and Chuck Barris, the way he would dance around, you know.
Yeah.
That was
yeah,
hilarious, man.
That's when TV was really fun.
It was really entertaining. He's
It really
crazy.
was. It really was. I never wanted to miss any episode. Okay,
Linda,
there's Linda.
hello,
Hi, Linda!
hello.
Yay!
Yeah.
You're real.
You're
Okay.
here.
Glad to have you.
Well, hold on. I think there was one digit off because I copied the link that it was. He sent me one time and it was 03 and one was 02. Anyway, but the one that Lefty sent me worked. So
Well, you're here now.
I'm here now.
That's all that matters.
Yeah. Yeah. Only took me
So,
2 weeks.
Linda, you want to tell everybody about you?
There's not really much to tell.
I knew you were
Oh,
going to
there
say
is.
that. I read you right off the book like that. Of course, there's plenty to tell about you.
Oh, well, I'm a psychiatric mental health nurse. I worked at the VA Medical Center where I live in West Palm Beach, Florida for 25 and a half years. I'm very passionate about veterans. And that's how I got interested in medical cannabis because all my, probably 85% of veterans, of course, they come in, they're toxic positive for cannabinoids, and then they like all freak out on you. And I'm thinking, good for. I don't know what this. I had some direction. I said, good for them. They did away with all the narcs and benzos like years ago and gave them nothing. You know how many of them would come and say, you know, if I have to live in this pain or with this anxiety, depression, I'd rather just like kill myself. And you know, anyway, so they kept telling me how great it was and how effective it helped them. So after I got my second master's, I decided, well, I'm going to find out how and why this stuff really works. So that's been about, probably 4 or 5 years ago now. And since then, I've gotten 3 certifications in medical cannabis. But I really don't feel like that. I'm not that knowledgeable. I have a basic fundamental of how theoretically things work. And I tell people, like anything else, unless you really work at it and do it every day, I'm not.
And I think that's what it's going to take in this industry is people like you who have a legitimate, and I'm not calling cannabis knowledge illegitimate, but let's say, okay, let's call it a classic medical background and education. It's going to be a lot of that combined with people like us who have educated ourselves on what cannabis is and the terpenes and things like that. There are a lot of people who I think have knowledge of both, but it's honestly refreshing when I see people like you and Sue who are certified medical professionals who believe in the magic of cannabis, because I have two parents. My father's a physician and my mom's a nurse, and they're a little bit younger than you guys, but they're still in that very old world mentality of pharmaceuticals. My mom, she won't do cannabis, but she has several crystals that she claims clean it out the damage that TV does to you. So it's just it's always refreshing to see people embrace, what works.
Yes, well, I had firsthand exposure to veterans, and I say, I'm sure you heard of Raphael Manton. He passed, I don't know, a couple of years ago, but I think he represented it the best way how I feel. He said, I've been studying this plant for 50 years, and every day I learn something new about it. And I think that's what's like so exciting, because there is so much new and interesting. And I get on, well, Sue knows too, she does too, as many cannabis calls that I can because it's, well, how can I say this? No one where I live or around me knows or uses or medical cannabis for themselves except me. So I don't have really anyone to kind of brainstorm and talk about how things work and why and whatever. I am also an adjunct professor at 3 universities, and I have attempted to get it integrated into the nursing curriculum, but it's a tough battle.
I definitely think there's a way to do that, especially in this current environment. And I don't think it's definitely going full throttle into like having the effects of cannabis on your body or things like that introduced to it. More like you start with like the controversies of cannabis and health and shoehorn it in like that. I think that would definitely, that would be a lot more traction building.
One of the schools I'm with is, I don't know where everyone is located, but I'm in Florida. It's Florida Atlantic University, and they
Lucky
have
you as far as weather.
Yeah, I've got the AC on here, so
my best friend lives in Florida, and I'm so happy we're at spring now, because winter is always like, oh, how's the weather near you? And she's from Florida, so she knows. And then I tell her, oh, it's cold and terrible, and she's like, oh, it's 60 or 70 here, and I'm like, you know what you're doing.
Well, that's okay. But they have a medical school, and it's integrative medicine. I haven't really dug into it too deep to see exactly what, but the School of Nursing is a very, and that's one of the reasons why I am an FAU alum too, besides from years ago, not in nursing, but health services. But they do have a program, a track on integrative healthcare, and I was speaking. In fact, when I was at clinical, I think it was last week, one of the instructors, the only reason I knew this, my students I had there knew her, and they really liked her a lot, and they were talking to her, so I got talking to her. She's getting her DNP now as a doctor, a nurse. She's already a nurse practitioner, but she likes psych, so she's getting it. She wants to go in pediatric psychology, and so there's a great need for that. But she teaches the integrative course that they're gonna, I think she said they're probably gonna take in the fall. So I'm thinking I'm gonna see about maybe, and they have the new dean, so I'm gonna at least present it as an option. I am doing research with, I'm on his research team. I'll just say that. I don't.
Right.
Me of all people do research is like, you don't know how I struggled with that over the years at school. But a friend of mine, he teaches nursing research. So I like to hang around with really smart people. Hopefully a little bit rubs off on me.
What's the saying? If I've seen anything, it's from standing on the shoulders of giants.
Yeah. Anyway, so he called me a couple of years ago and said, oh, he gets a lot of grants, that he got this grant. And one of the criteria for the grants was that he needs community outreach. And he says, oh, you're like whatever. So I'm his community outreach. So I'm on his research team. I have done, in fact, we're doing a presentation on some research he did. I did a presentation for him. He was going to come to the clinic. I also do one day a week groups at a chronic outpatient clinic for chronically mentally ill. They're all schizophrenics. So of course, most of them, they're usually not just straight, psych diagnosis. Most psych patients do have comorbidities, and usually one of them is substance abuse. So
Right.
I enjoyed that. And then I did present it to my 2 clinical groups of students that I had last semester. And, they really want to know about it. I don't go around like promoting it unless I feel like I have an opportunity, but when I do, because they get nothing. And I tell them, I think everyone as nurses, you need to just put your personal judgment or feelings aside when it comes to it, that we have a responsibility to at least know some basic fundamental facts about it for our patients' sake, because they don't have anyone to ask that they can really trust, or, that's going to give them a true assessment of things. And
There's no room for politics like that in medicine. If something will work better than something else, do it. It's just end of story.
They want to know about it. They just have so much other stuff going on, but I think it certainly could be integrated into some type of anatomy or pathophysiology or something. In fact, I might ask Armel. He's my friend. He also teaches
pharmacology. That would be pharmacology.
See, the way I look at it is that like I was saying earlier, I think the way we get the people normalized and at least standardly educated with cannabis, it's going to be having it be predominantly be officials. I see too often run into people's politics, like you were saying, and people's personal beliefs getting into it. And then research gets blocked and progression gets blocked. And I think having that, like I was saying, a network of people, official and unofficial, in this industry working together is going to bring us a lot more results and knowledge than I think pursuing the classic way, I would say.
Yeah. What I tell, we were on a call with Sue, cannabis nurses. She was saying, which I thought was good, because I do clinicals now. I was in twice a week. I was there in clinical today, and I say at least 85% of the patients come in, or maybe not that many here, but at the VA, yes, positive for cannabinoids, and to really dig deep instead of just kind of giving them maybe a diagnosis of cannabis use disorder, or just saying, oh, they're just a druggie, to really dig really deeper and find out where they're getting it, what they're taking it for, how much, what do they know about it, and have them respect it as a plant and medicine instead of just something, they get up off how dangerous it is. How many people have died because they thought they were just getting a joint from somebody or whatever, and there's fentanyl or something.
I've said this so many times before on the cast. It's the nature of the black market of cannabis has really disgusted me, because I told all my dealers this from the beginning when recreational started. People are creatures of habit. If you pull your usual dealer nonsense and say, I'm going to be here whenever, and you don't show up, they're going to go to the dispensary. So they didn't change their product. They didn't get better. They didn't make it something an alternative. They got people addicted to the street stuff. Whether it's them or the person they're getting it from, most of the time something's being sprayed on it with these low-level guys. And I would really like to know, honestly, for our benefit, so we know what's going on here, is a study of the people who are the patients, like you see, they're all, a lot of them are positive for cannabinoids.
Oh, yeah.
The ones who do go to dispensaries, and the psychiatric state of those who buy on the street. I think that could tell us a lot.
Well, I'll have to ask Armel about that. He's the brain research guy, about maybe doing a differential kind of study on that. That's what I tell students. I certainly don't believe in, for teenagers or people just, smoking it to get high and getting it from, their neighbor up the street that cooked it up in their kitchen or bathroom, whatever.
Right, Jim, that counts me and you out.
Well, you do it for yourself, but So
it's interesting you bring that up, Linda, because I actually had this conversation the other day, and I've had a change of heart about one thing. There are people out there who do look to get high, and those people eventually move on to something stronger. But those of us who use cannabis, whether it be medical or recreational, one way or another, it's medical. Whether you're choosing to acknowledge it or not, the people who say, "Oh, I like to get high," they have a specific thing they're looking for, so they're trying to mend something. They just can't articulate it or won't articulate it. But there's very few people I see in my eyes who are just looking to get high senselessly on cannabis.
Well, I don't understand how you mean get high senselessly. Give me an example how one would do that.
Well, like, okay, so before dispensaries started popping up and we were able to, say, pick a strain and be able to direct ourselves or be able to plan things out based on the strain we got, we were just getting most of the time that kush, that fire, and it was a question mark. So the aim there wasn't, to smoke and consistently smoke and do well with your work or get some sleep. It was, I'm going to get ripped and see what happens. And that would happen at parties. That would happen at just your own time. And once dispensaries started popping up and you started being able to say, okay, I'm going to pick this up and I'm going to be able to really hone in on it. And whether that be a placebo thing or just, we weren't aware of it before, but now it's written down on a label and we feel it on some level now, or it's more refined or whatever. More people, if not all of them, of the cannabis users are smoking for a purpose and not just
senselessly. That's circled back to. So the senseless part would have been somebody just wanted to get ripped and see how high they could get at a party. I mean, yeah, I could see that being qualified to describe as that. I mean, maybe I wouldn't.
But like I said, most people with that mentality, sooner rather than later, move on to something harder because they're just trying to get high.
Because they grow up. A lot of this is really at a young age,
Yeah, that's what.
And it starts out like that,
right? We did that when we were young, and of course that was our intention.
And people drink senselessly all the time too. Right. It could be at aches and pains and all, But
I think personally, like, even back before recreational happened in New Jersey, like even when I was working at Juniors and I'd see people coming in late at night with their weed, their pens and everything, 40, 50, 20, 30, they were smoking. And then I didn't hear, I'm going to get sharp and high. I'm going to be energized and high. I'm just going to get really ripped.
Well, okay.
It was always something crazy. It was only after recreationalizing when we were able to reliably be able to pick that direction. Did people, I at least, this was my perception. I'm not going to say it's fact, but I'm going to say my perception was people started getting high with a purpose, with functionality.
Yeah. Now, to me, although back in the day, we never knew what it was. This is sleepy pot. This is laughing weed.
I'm just saying that's the progression now.
Let me educate you a little bit then. I mean, this is how you learn from your elders.
From your elders.
Yeah. And the thing is, I was a highly functioning pothead. I did so much work with what I had to do. And it's because I didn't get blasted high. I got high enough that I could focus. I would get high and it got rid of static that I had in my head. It was like I could more freely think in a very linear way, but then I would get so absorbed because I start to enjoy, like, say I'd be a carpenter and I might have been just nailing off a deck, but man, I started getting rhythm and basically my boss really liked when I worked like that. So I had the best of both worlds. I had a much better day. I did a lot of work. And I always found it to be a bit energizing because if I'm not sitting down, if I'm in motion, and now I've more reverted back to edibles. Not edibles, what I make cookies out of, but just not making the cookie a fingerful. And, that's my self-titration, but I get lost in my work, and I meet no resistance with that here because sometimes it's me going out. What are you going to do? I'm going out in the yard. I'm sure I'm going to find something, and I just kind of get into it. But there is Even I don't know. Somehow I've come to think that people getting high, they say it makes them feel better, and if it makes you feel better, there's going to be a better outcome than other physical.
Yeah, it circles back to it. Yeah, that's medical on its own. If you feel better, even if you can't put your finger on it, that's still medical. Like that's still on some level. Like you're taking away stress that's detrimental to you. There's a lot that I feel like paying attention to the differences between street and regular weed. We'd notice.
I got a question too. Don't you think not calling it weed all the time would make it a little more, to your point?
Cannabis.
Yeah,
cannabis. It's a hard stigma to break.
But it's a weed. If you look it up, is defined as being an unwanted plant. You know, in it meaning unwanted, even though some would meet the actual scientific criteria. But the thing is, and I understand in the press, weed is quick, and I have nothing against us doing it, but I never advocate for weed. I read about weed and all the cannabis stories in the paper. Everybody calls it weed. I mean, the journalists call it weed.
Yeah, that's when you hear me talk about work.
It's because, but they call it weed because we call it weed. So I'm not saying people should just start calling it cannabis. I mean, not necessarily here, because we say a lot worse things than weed here.
Well, like I was saying, there's a lot I think we're not noticing about the difference between street cannabis and dispensary cannabis more than the
dispensary cannabis is contaminated according to the latest study, 30%.
But that's the other thing too. I said this before. I want to touch on that again now. I think people are jumping way too much down the throat of the 30% part when there's a whole 70% there that was cleaner. And if you look at other states that have done these same things, it's been much worse.
Okay, if you get 3 different 8s, the averages we're talking about says one of them is contaminated. 30%. That's 33. So I'm just saying it does matter, but I feel like
it matters, yes.
But I would want to digress and say, like, I'm trying to think of, I had some, and Linda, I forget things a lot, and I'm not making notes here. I had at least 2 things I wanted to ask you, and I want to take advantage of Linda being here, and because anything that has to do with veterans and cannabis,
have you noticed any similar health issues between any of your veterans or any patients that are like, say, one buys street weed or street cannabis and one buys
street weed is street cannabis.
And there's is there a consistent flake health issue that you do notice that makes it hard to differentiate, or is it pretty much black and white sometimes in your eyes?
No.
What do you mean?
No.
There's nothing you can notice, like nothing you
mean.
No, I about that.
No, you don't know if somebody. First of all, everybody lies. Okay, so you never get a correct answer.
Are you telling the truth? Maybe they all tell the truth, and you're the liar.
That could be.
I'm not everybody. I'm messing with you. All right.
You know what House says? All patients lie.
Yeah, they do. They never tell you the truth anyway. So, you just
the fact.
Yeah, you just roll with it. You just it's like you take the weeds and keep the flowers.
When you ask them how much they had to drink when they say
I had 2 drinks.
They can't remember, then that's probably a fair assessment. Otherwise, just double whatever they tell you.
Yeah.
How much did you drink? I say I wanted a 24-ounce beer, and that'd be 1 beer, right? I mean, it's a beer, but all it has 12-ounce bottles. So I had I had 1 beer, but it was in 2 separate bottles or whatever. It's just exactly that. And the thing is, I often have 2 beers because, especially if I'm doing something an hour later, I'm good. And I almost feel like lying and saying 3, because if you say, I had 2 beers, okay. It's like a code for.
I mean, usually they do a BAL and the ED anyway, so you get, really have objective assessment of what someone's blood level is, but I always like to at least ask them. Sometimes they say, "Oh, just look on my chart." I go, "Well, I like to hear it from you." See what
The thing though is that like my father, I've said this before. My father's a physician, and he often tells me that he sees people in the ER for cannabis related issues or whatnot, and even before he explains the bit he can, I do take solace in knowing that it was either the person bought it off and I'm just looking at like the possibilities that the person bought off the street, or it's dispensary weed that they didn't responsibly use. And again, there's not enough literal research to show this, but in my opinion, it makes sense to me that when it comes to hospital visits for dispensary weed, it's irresponsible use. It's someone smoking something that doesn't vibe with them and they go into a panic attack, or the lackadaisicalness from something that made them sluggish. I think a lot of that would be boiled down to ill education on their part. But again, what do we know? There's nothing literally written down, and patients lie.
Or depending where they got it, who knows what's really in it? That's the other.
Now, I have a question because I for you, because I my brother was a veteran, so I'm always curious about stuff like this. Do you remember what, like, the moment you decided you wanted to work with veterans and what made you want to work with veterans?
Oh, my father always wanted. My father was a veteran, but he hated. He was like I always remember March 17th is the day he got out of the Army, and that was a long time ago, but he always wanted me to work at the VA because of the benefits, and God bless him, he was right. And I was I thought, well, students asked me, weren't you scared working there or something like that? Because I worked on an acute psych, so I say, listen, trust me, I know crazy. But what I tell them, I always said a prayer when I went in: God, please be with me. Let me get out alive. Everyone I work with, and just make sure all my patients are breathing. I gave up off the floor years ago. It's occupational hazard. So I don't ask a whole lot. And I said, and then I say, you get what you give, get what you give. If you treat people with respect, and they know that you're advocating for them.
Yeah,
they like you then. They like you. They want to,
You're a nice, kind person who cares about people. And I'll tell you what, obviously I didn't know your father, but I could definitely see a world where he was, he's a tough military man. He said, go work at the VA for the benefits. What he was actually saying was, I see my daughter's a lovely, caring, sweet person who will take care of these people.
Well,
no, for God's sakes.
Well, it may sound
that was good.
No, it may.
You never say that to me.
You don't talk about your family background enough for me to make references like that.
I'm not allowed to.
Okay, so there you go. I work with what I can.
It may sound, I don't know what I tell people, even though I worked at the VA, whatever, but it's a lot more to me than that. They were wonderful to my father for I don't know how many years, gave him everything he needed physically. He did pass there. They saved my husband's life. I got great friends. They paid for my school. I have great friends and gone and participated in everything that I never thought I would be able or even thought of. So, yeah. And the schools that I'm with, it's not just I'm an adjunct there. I'm very dedicated to both of them. PBA, it's a private faith-based school that assisted me when nobody else would to get my master's. And since then, that's how my sister said I got hooked up with them. And FAU, I'm an alum there. So it's more than just,
You said you're a professor, right?
Yeah.
What do you teach currently?
I do clinicals. I do psych clinicals in the hospital.
See, that's what they wanted me. Of course, when I got my master's, that's about where they were trying to lead me to. I am not a teacher. I
You
don't
know,
have the vocabulary.
No, I
for
think
it.
you are. Very
No, but I
second-
really don't have the vocabulary because I've got that street side of me that just works out every once in a while.
I've had so many professors, Sue, just like you, who, yes, they may not be like they often are comfortable just enough going, just like, all right, so then there's the, you know the word, and the student, that's how you build student engagement, is having them help you a little bit. And I definitely see that.
Help me what? Not say fuck? You know, really, you know, no, I don't think I'm a good teacher. I really don't. And I never wanted to teach anyway. You know, I loved what I did. You know, I loved every clinical job I had. And then when I went to work with the law, you know, that was fun. You know, I traveled to 38 different states.
I think that's what I'd like to do. How do you get into law? I am a paralegal. If that counts.
Yeah, it does count.
Oh.
It does count. I don't know. A law firm hired me. And then, you know, one law firm knows another law firm and you run into another one. And so it just, you know, it just tumbled like that. But I did not work in malpractice because I don't support that.
So what kind of rules? Give me some ideas.
Labor.
I market myself to some attorney.
Labor law. I went to Cornell.
Labor. Oh, okay. Because I was
went to Cornell. I studied labor law.
I don't want to get a personal injury and be reading all the patients' charts and see where somebody did something.
No. I mean, I do that as kind of like a side hustle now. Like if there's a law firm, I know that they want me to, you know, look at this chart and see if you think, you know, and for the most part, nobody has a case because I don't see what the nurse did wrong or you know. Yeah. But it was, you know, I loved everything I did. I really did, you know. And when it was time to leave hospitals, I knew it was time to go, you know, and that's what I did. So I went with the law firm.
Knew when it was time to go. I never knew you went to Cornell though. That's awesome.
Well, it's another school.
I barely got through Brookdale. I'm always impressed by this stuff.
Yeah, no, that's not impressive. I don't think. I mean, you know, I don't think so. It's just that's where you know, that's where they were sending me. So I went where I was being sent.
Like I said, I had trouble getting through Brookdale, but at the end of the day, it's not where you went to school; it's what you do with the information.
Because you know what, come on, we see it every day. You know, people go to these Ivy League schools and whatnot, and they're no geniuses. You know,
no, we know all the other stories.
Or a lot of the geniuses drop out.
You know, there's a lot of people that you know are you know have 10,000 initials after their names. I never want, you know, that I wouldn't work with.
Initials or brand names, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, you know what? It's all about the money. You know, if you're willing to pay, you'll get those initials. You see that CLNC? That means Certified Legal Nurse Consultant. I paid for those initials. They didn't just give them to me.
Yeah.
You know,
I never took the test for the legal consultant, but
you do. You get cert. Yeah, you have to take a test. You have to take the you know, you have to do the course. You have to go through the whole legal thing. You know, and then you take the certification exam. And the only reason why I took it was because I was in the law firms. Yeah. Otherwise, I wouldn't have bothered. Because going for a master's taught me that it wasn't worth it.
So what kind of clinical law are you educated in under that guise then? I mean, is it just like general?
I'm educated in everything.
Okay. I didn't know if it was
okay, let me explain what I did. Okay, when you know, these hospital systems were starting to come together, you know, in these big conglomerates we have now, like RWJ, St. Barnabas, you know, Hackensack Meridian, you know, what have you. So as they were doing that, you know, each group, you know, each gang of hospitals, they had to have lawyers involved. So I went along as the nurse. And what I would do is I would be in the Starship Hospital, and I brought a team with me. You know, I would pick out some people, you know, that I wanted to come with me, some nurses I knew. And if they agreed to, but the money was good, so nobody ever said no. And then I would, we would work with the nurses to make sure that they had, do you have the things you need? What is it you need? What is it you like? What is it you don't like? Who's good? Who's not good? It was a lot of work, but it's well paid. It was well paid. And I spent every fucking dime.
So, Linda, what's other than continuing your education and continuing to do your work? Do you have anything you're working on currently or pushing for right now?
Yes, I have a business I'm getting ready to launch. Integrative Holistic Healing for Veterans. It's a holistic whole health program for veterans, and most cannabis nurses that they just do medical cannabis consulting or something like that. But I wanted it to be more integrative and more inclusive than just for the medical cannabis. So that's why I did it that way. Of course, there is a chapter or a module, I think I call them, on CBD and the basic information. I do have a website. In fact, the person I have assisted me, she's working on updating the program and my website. We hope to launch it in June. I've only been working on it a couple years. That I'll admit to, but it's been longer. So that's what I do in my spare time.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'd like to hear, you and I will talk on the side. I want to hear more about that because my grandson just got out of the Air Force.
Oh, all right.
So with all kinds of palpitations and what have you. He's a really good kid. He's going to be a nurse.
Oh,
Nice.
okay.
Yeah.
There's
His brother.
a lot of I can think of a couple techs. They were they didn't work in psych, but he rotated there. He was a nice guy. Matthew, I think was his name. A lot of them were med techs in the service.
Yeah.
And there is a program, I'm sure there's some in New Jersey that are specific for veterans that transition that, I don't know, I think it was FI.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm sure they're all over. So
Yeah, he's going to go. They sent him a letter and he'll be going to William Patterson in September.
Oh,
Nice.
that's exciting. That's exciting.
Yeah, so that's good. That's good. And his brother is in Fairleigh Dickinson. He's got his bachelor's and he'll be in. So they'll be in at the same time, and they both work in hospitals. Rocco works in Hackensack in the ER, in the crazy ER I used to run. And then my other grandson, the one that was in the Air Force, we have him in Palisades General. So he's good. They're good. They like being patient care techs. They watch their grandmother all their lives.
Yeah. No.
And my husband is a surgeon, so they've been around this stuff.
Yeah, it's I was going to say, no, that's part of the snag or whatever I've had to overcome because I'm not a veteran. I get connection with veterans, so I was going to, do some advertising, but I did the Dr. Mo's her name. She owns the clinic. She's a neuropsychologist, and we became pretty good friends. And we went out to lunch Tuesday because she wanted to show me where she's moving her clinic from Riviera Beach one facility to another, which it was almost like divine intervention. I was so excited when she told me about it. So we went to see it, and we went out to lunch. But she does also for her, I don't know if I mentioned, on Wednesday evening, she has a contract with Port St. Lucie. It's a little further north. So I do telehealth conference with a veteran group.
Were you on the when we were doing yesterday? We were doing the standard scope and practice for cannabis nursing. Did you see that nurse that popped on that was in the military?
Yeah, it was late getting on because I was on with Apple, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I thought that was interesting. I also thought she was a spy, but that's me. That's just me.
I didn't hear too much about what she was.
She just said that she wasn't a Marine. I guess she's Army. Yeah, she's Army, And she just said she's just investigating, what her options are when she gets out, of course, because while she's in, she can't do anything, but she was curious. And, of course, that always, my radar goes off when somebody says they're curious.
Rightfully so.
Right? Yeah. So anyway, but I thought that was interesting, and I wonder how she even found us, I don't know.
It's kind of
kind of suspicious, right?
Yeah, I can go along with that.
You go with me on that? Yeah.
Always go with your gut, and I would say yours is probably accurate on those kind of things.
We'll see if she comes back. Then I don't know. Whatever.
When Dr. Sariego, he's applying for another type grant. I don't ask him the details on all the nitty gritty of it because it takes 6 months. He needed. That was my task. He kind of made a general statement a couple of years ago to find veteran groups or groups with substance abuse that he could get data collection from.
Mm-hmm. How are the funding cutbacks affecting you?
Well, so far they haven't been. He's applied for. He's just getting what do you call it? A letter of support. So he's got it from Dr. Mo at the clinic. And the reason I was mentioning it, I told him that the FAU has a big veteran group there. So anyway, I had sent out this email to whatever, because I'd gone there with a student I had one time. Anyway, but he said he wanted to make it very clear that FAU that there's no indication that veterans are okay, using marijuana. So, but he did put a support in. So, because I think it's something to do with veterans and cannabis and firearms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because there's the whole Fifth Amendment. Here's what it says. This is the latest. It says the Department of Veterans Affairs is planning to cut 83,000 jobs, slashing employment, blah, blah, blah. This is from the Associated Press, and I like what they put out. And let's see, those services include what they're cutting back for the comprehensive services for the veterans. It says healthcare, short and long-term housing options, life insurance, pensions, education stipends, and assistance in jails and courts. The VA also engages in path-breaking public health research, which they're cutting 482,000 employees.
What?
One quarter of the veterans. That's what it says. That's from the Associated Press just now.
Oh, well.
It says veterans are among those hardest hit, and the impact goes well beyond job loss. And let's see if it says anything else. Federal law requires employees to give veterans an advantage in hiring, right? I guess that still goes.
Yeah, they get extra points if they're a veteran. I'm not sure how it works.
Yeah. And then the cuts would be affecting also their medical care. And 90% of the VA's cuts means cuts to health care. So it's mostly health care that they're cutting for the VA. I guess the benefits, which are how good are the VA benefits for the veterans, not for you as an employee, as a nurse.
You mean benefits for the veterans? It depends on their service connection, and I really don't get into much any of the billing kind of stuff. I don't think any of them should have to pay personally, but depending on their service connection, and they have to go through compensation and pension to CMP every year. And especially I've got 4 or 5 that are in my Wednesday group that that they can be. I think one of them just got 100%, and I can't imagine that once you're 100%, that you would need to go back every year to get reevaluated.
Right.
And sometimes patients would come in the hospital when it was about time for their annual review because they were getting so, especially if they're 100%, because they thought they might lose that because it's a pretty good amount of money.
So they wanted to be seen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how all they decide who pays what or this or that, and some of them would come in like if they had a toothache. Because if you were inpatient, I just know that's what they tell you. If you're inpatient, you could get a tooth pulled. They wouldn't like do anything, but if you needed to be pulled and hurting, you wanted it out. But dental is very hard to get dental services. You have to be 100%, and I don't know. There's a certain criteria, but if you were an inpatient, even in psych, you could go get a tooth pulled. So some of them.
Yeah, this is what this says. Trump's cuts will make it more difficult for the VA to provide health care for the newly eligible veterans. These cuts roll back, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. The wait times will vary from days to months because your clinics are so understaffed. But that's everything in healthcare,
Well, in the VA, mental health is a really big, the PTSD has a whole building just for itself. Substance abuse has a whole floor. So those are,
and rightfully so.
Yeah. So I hate to see that because they shouldn't have to wait to get services that they deserve.
Yeah.
So it's
yeah, my father was a veteran too. My father, all his brothers, he had 10, no, he was 10, there were 10 of them. There were 9 brothers that were veterans also.
Okay.
Some of them lifers, career veterans.
Yes. So, like anything else, it has its positive and negative.
Yeah, sure.
I tell people, I think back to one of the reasons I think we used to have such wonderful psychiatrists that we all loved, and they were wonderful. I don't know, they drove them all away. The last 3, that was one of the reasons I decided to retire, because the care or lack of it was getting.
Is that what was due to funding or?
No, it's just, I think a change in administration or style, like people, when you're in administration, you hire people with the same mentality
mindset
or whatever that you have. And I don't know, it was just, in fact, one of them, I was just talking to her because we became friends. What happened, she did a residency there, and then she came on staff for a couple years, and we became pretty good friends. And I called her about seeing if she wanted to participate in the research that Dr. Sariega's doing. And now she's medical director now she's going to be CEO, so she's at some rehab place. And I said, I called her Q. I said, Q, we used to have such wonderful psychiatrists. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Especially one, I called Dr. McKee. I tell people I lived and worked there with her for at least 15 years, and we all loved her, and she loved her patients, and that's really special. And it makes a big difference with the patients too. Sure.
With that connection.
And she was a heavy user too. You kind of know what I mean, Sue, right? Which I always liked. One time I remember she'd say, well, go, I don't know, somebody was like trashing the place, I guess. I don't know. And she said, we called it code, and she told me to go give him something. I said, well, I just gave him whatever I just gave him. And she just looked at me. She was like 5 foot, weighed 90 pounds or something, and goes, that's what we got the crash cart for. And I go, that's my girl.
Yeah. Can't breathe? We'll fix that.
Anyway, I have to get off for the night and go start making dinner. Linda, it was a pleasure meeting you. I had a wonderful time getting to know you and getting some insight from your perspective here. I hope if you're looking for more education on cannabis, my Instagram's right on there. I have a couple series where I go deep dives into strains and things like that. And I'm always happy to bud tender and share my knowledge with other people.
Okay.
So anyway, everyone have a good night. All right.
All right.
You too, babe.
Man.
Okay. Thanks, Sue. No, I'll send you. I'll we'll have to call me when you are set up something. I'll go over my program with you.
Okay. Yeah, that would be good.
I do have
I'm
a
talking
question.
with
Yeah, Chris has a question.
next week. So after I talk to her, maybe your guy, I'll let you beta test it or something. I would trust you to review it. She says, make sure people you can trust.
Okay.
Okay.
That's fine.
All
Yeah. Yeah. Lefty, did you say somebody had a question?
Yeah, I have a question. Hey, Linda, I'm Chris.
Hi, Chris.
So I have a question. Like I know, but past elections, there was also the vote for home grow, and it was voted down. Is there like any update on that or anything?
You're
Like,
talking to
you know?
veterans don't have any
No.
say.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, if she has any, like, if like, does she know any? Like, is there any like, is the bill dead down there? Like,
No, I don't know. I'm in Florida, so not
She's in
that
Florida. Yeah.
no, yeah, that's what I'm saying. In Florida, they recently had a thing about home grow, and I know it was like voted down or something. Like a lot of people.
Florida.
That's whatever the last legislation was on it.
Yeah.
That's all I know. I'm not sure what the details of it all involved, but I just know the last one it didn't get passed.
Yeah, Florida. They're pretty stuck and set in you know how they govern.
Yeah.
But if you go all the way down to the Keys, you can do and get anything you want in every other storefront.
Yeah.
And they'll deliver. And so it's like, it's almost like it's a different world down there.
Yeah, that's
right. And the further north in Florida you go, the less they have.
Less
is best.
Is it just like more acceptable, or is it just like
what in the Keys?
Yeah.
I think because the Keys are especially Key West, because it's a destination and nobody really pays attention to what's going on down there, even though they do have an Air Force base there. They have the big signs, government restricted property, blah, blah, blah. But I don't think anybody really cares. It's, it's a predominant Cuban population. A lot of people from Haiti live there. People go in and out. It's an expensive place to live too, but it's a party place.
Yeah, it's a party place.
Yeah.
That's where what's his face used to go. You know who? Margarita guy.
Yeah.
What's his name? He just died not too long. Jimmy. You know who I mean?
Yes.
Jimmy Buffett. Ernest Hemingway used to go there, and the original Sloppy Joe's is there. So
yeah, and Hemingway.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hemingway there's a great big like white house. Yeah, it's pretty.
And it's the southernmost point in the United States, is there?
90 miles from Cuba.
Yeah. Yeah. It's beautiful too.
Cuba.
I have two questions for you.
Okay, here you go.
Questions. Well,
everybody gets these questions.
Have you ever tried cannabis ever in your life?
Maybe once in high school.
Yeah. So how old were you the first time you tried it? How old were you, and what was your experience like?
I didn't like it because it burned. I didn't smoke. I just don't like smoking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. I was just with somebody, and she got high all the time. She was a couple years younger than I was. But
I'm having a good laugh at Lefty right now. It's like stumped.
Yeah, now you got to think about the munchie question.
You see, Linda, everybody gets these questions because it's that kind of podcast, and which I find to be like really funny because, like, you brought very specific information. It was very germane exactly to what we do. But that doesn't mean you gotta smoke cannabis to do it.
That's right. But your first experience, why was it so bad? What happened that was so bad?
The inhalation.
The smoke.
Yeah.
If you don't smoke, it's the actual.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And even today, I mean, I've taken 3 cannabis classes. Like, one was really intense. It was at Pacific College, and just everything I've always heard that. Like anything else, inhalation is not the usually standard recommended mode of administration just for that, like cigarette smoking. It's an irritant to your lungs.
Yeah.
Certainly the first line always how Seuss feels, but I've always heard, and I would tell people.
Yeah, no, same here. I do oils.
Yeah, concentration, or even better, gummies. They're like candy. I had a patient one time, he was like gummy bears, and that's what he ate. So I told him, he was so cute. I say, like, gummy bears will never mean the same to me again.
Gummy mushrooms too.
The EG, right, Sue? Because somebody leaves out there gummy bears or whatever, and they're good. So that was the only thing that whatever. And like I said, I still don't. Well, I think Dr. Sulak always said, at least in one of his programs, that he recommends it for like acute onset, maybe like PRN. Like if you're taking, doing concentrates or this or whatever else, but you're having exacerbation of something and you need a quick fix, PRN, then you say you would take a couple hits or, puffs on.
Because it hits you right away.
Yeah, because it hits. Yeah, it's acute onset.
So, the concentrates take about 20 minutes to a half hour.
Yeah.
For me,
It
anyway.
doesn't recommend inhalation as a regular mode of use.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking about gummy bears, what's your favorite munchie food?
I get these different kind of what's it called? It's butter popcorn. It's like in a bag. Ideal protein. It's unit dose, so I can't eat the whole bag. Some Dorito chips, stuff like that.
Yummy.
Yeah. So he says, people say,
What's your favorite munchie food?
Me?
Yeah.
Right now, it's Freddy's prime rib steak burger and tater tots.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Oh, I have one other thing. It's only seasonal though, but this is the season, and a friend's birthday's coming up, so I'm probably going to order it. It's a fresh strawberry pie.
Yum.
The strawberries are huge.
I'm surprised, Sue. I'm surprised you accepted Lefty's answer. That's not munchy food.
Yeah,
that's a freaking meal that tastes good. What I'm saying is, what if you weren't around this establishment?
What if you had to go to
in a mall that had a food court you've never seen before? What would you get there?
My favorite munchie food really is cheese, crackers, and olives.
Ooh, good
Okay.
one. Yeah,
All right.
That sounds
I like
cheese,
olives.
cheese and crackers, or cheese crackers.
No, cheese crackers with cheese. Like I'll get the toasty cheese.
Not the two pieces with. I mean, not peanut butter cheese. Cracker.
The
You
extra
mean
cheese
like
with
what kind of cheese? Like port wine cheese?
sharp port wine's great. Sharp cheddar from Wisconsin or above.
Yeah. Glad somebody asked you.
What about you, Chris? What's your favorite munchie food?
I recently have like a newfound love for like some regular crackers and some hummus.
Hummus. Yum. I love hummus.
Yeah.
Jim, you never said what your munchie food is.
Munchy food. I try not to do any like munchy stuff, but I think in my lifetime, the Cheetos, the what do you call it? What
The Cheetos.
The hot ones, the hot curls.
Hot ones, yeah.
Yeah, I like them.
Yeah, they're good.
Hot doodles or something. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, a lot of taste,
Yeah.
It says yum.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Yum.
And gotten away from ice cream, but that was always good. Try it, hopefully in small amounts, and really small bites too. Because like it tastes,
melt it down.
Well, yeah, it tastes a little bit too. And then so I can kind of eat, keep that taste in my mouth for as long as it lasts, and I lick the bowl with my finger, and it's all gone.
There's an ice cream place around the corner from me. They make all their own homemade ice cream. They have, and they make vegan, halal. Because we have a very large Palestine population here. they make kosher ice cream there too. The guy is really cool too. His name is Mo Muhammad. He always gives me a jar of olive oil that his grandmother, has an olive tree, and she presses the olives, and it's
anybody ever
open all year, 7 days a week.
Did you ever? I mean, I hate to. We had a guy, Mo, on a crew one time, but we just called him that because we couldn't say his name. I mean, and he was good with it, and he was not native to the country, and he fit right in the group. I mean, we just called Mo, but I could never help myself going, "Hey Mo," when I'd have to call him. I mean, do you ever say, "Hey Mo, I like your ice cream"? It's all spread out. I'm old enough. I remember. I saw the Three Stooges. Obviously not Curly.
We saw Mo
Atlantic City at the end of Steel Pier, where the horse jumped into water and everything. Yeah, I saw him do his show, and
really,
yeah. Well, because of Dad's financial situation, they were like really small. I mean, I got up to see him, and I think it was like Joe Besser or somebody for the Curly thing, but Larry, it was good. They did all the knuckleheads. I was 5. It was awesome.
Oh my God! Yeah, you had to love it, right?
You did,
Cool. That would be cool.
Yeah, well, it was something.
What's the first concert you ever went to?
Me?
Yeah.
Actually, it was Janis Joplin.
Okay, that's
good.
Good.
I didn't go to a concert during a lot of high school years. So it was, you know what? No, just before that, it was Chicago Transit Authority. And
okay.
They opened for Iron Butterfly. That's what it was. That would have been the first.
Yeah.
And
those good light shows in the
I was blown away by Chicago Transit Authority because I had a lawn seat, and you could feel the music, and I'd never heard anything quite like it. I really liked it a lot. I didn't consider it rock and roll one little bit, but it was freaking awesome.
Oh, that was our psychedelic music.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Well, I'm glad also that I got to hear Terry Kath. And he's one of my favorite musicians.
How about you, Linda? What's the first concert you went to?
I don't know the first one, but one that's memorable was Tina Turner.
Okay, she was awesome.
Yeah.
I saw her multiple times. She was great.
Yeah.
I saw her when she was with Ike too.
Oh, I went to a Cher play in Boston.
I saw her at the Fillmore East.
Oh.
Okay, you're next, Sue. Who's your first concert?
The Doors.
Oh, the Doors. What do you think, Kathy?
Wow.
I'm only including Kathy because it's like she's not in the conversation. She's probably picking up on what it's about, but she'd be like, "Yeah, the Beatles, second row, 1964."
Yeah.
So but if you add up Tina Turner, the Doors, and one of the three that I mentioned, because I think. Yeah, it was later on that summer, 6 weeks, I think, before Janis died. But yeah, that's some pretty good groups. What do you think?
Yeah, we had good music.
Yeah. Hey, well, okay. What do you think, Chris? You're the baby of this group.
Yeah, come on, Chris.
Well, my first concert was multiple artists, but it was more of hip hop. It was the radio Hot 97. They had a whole bunch of upcoming and artists, but it was multiple. I think 50 Cent was there. I think Fat Joe, Kendrick Lamar,
how old?
A$AP Rocky. I was about maybe 17, 16.
Okay.
Lefty, what about you?
Took the train.
Yep.
Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Okay. Good.
Wow.
That was a good one. Yeah. Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young.
No, just Nash.
Just Nash.
Not just Nash, but Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
I don't know about anybody else, but when these Grammys come, I don't know one single artist. I don't know. That kind of stuff really makes me feel old, I guess, or out of touch. I don't know what it. Something's not right. I tell myself, and I can't understand a word they're saying anyway. So I don't know.
Yeah, I have that learning experience, if you can call it that, with the Grammys each year. Kathy and I both do. It's sort of like, okay, do we know anybody? But yeah, it is actually sometimes, I mean, I always learn something or something I can appreciate, but sometimes it's few and far between, I gotta say.
Yeah.
Chris, who's your favorite hip hop artist?
Mine? Oh man.
You can a couple. If it doesn't have to be the actual, a couple.
Yeah, just Who pops in your head?
Eminem.
Eminem is mine. Yes.
Yes. I like Tupac a lot.
Uh-huh.
Who else? Lil Wayne. I really like Lil Wayne. I like his old stuff. And yeah, I would say Biggie. I do like Big L as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Were you ever a Dr. Dre fan? I was.
Not a little bit, not too much.
I liked him. I
started listening to the whole like NWA like album recently, like again.
Mm-hmm.
And like I there's a lot of songs there that like I really enjoy. So, but I like listening more to like the 90s and like the 80s, like all this like like I don't know, the more
when music was real.
Yeah, like even like old jams, like it's I don't know, they hit different. I like them.
What do you think of Sublime?
Oh yeah, I listen to them a lot.
You better.
Yeah.
Lefty, what about you? Hip hop.
Hip hop. Beastie Boys.
Beastie Boys.
I know they're hip hop, but I never consider them hip hop. They're just they're too flaky for me.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So Linda, thank you for coming on finally.
I enjoyed it.
And you and I will talk.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. No, I'm excited. I don't know how entrepreneurially inclined your grandsons are, but maybe we could.
Let's talk.
Yes. I need some outside.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
I can't do it by myself, and it's just been hard for me.
Okay. All right. Yeah, let's definitely talk about that then.
Okay. God bless you. I appreciate it.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks, Linda.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for the invitation.
Well, thank you for being here. It's a very well-rounded show, and you fit in real good.
Do you have a website or a way to contact you?
Oh, yeah, I do have a website. So I just type it in the chat. It's veteransofvictories.org.
Veteransofvictories.org?
Yes, Veteran Victories.
There it is.
Oh, Veteran
Put it in the chat.
Victories.org.
Yeah. It needs to be updated. Well, so she's finishing the program. In fact, I had to send her the code to get in. She's doing it on Squarespace. So then we're gonna. She's gonna finish the program and then update the website. So hopefully, like I said, by June it'll be ready to launch it. That's what we're working on.
Okay, good.
I've got. Right. My assignment was to get beta tester, so I'm going to count you in the mix there, Mr. I appreciate it.
Okay.
I've got
anything you need.
Hi, Justin.
Okay. All righty.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, we'll talk during the week, okay?
Okay, you too. Have a good weekend.
Okay, love you. Thank you.
Love you too. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Linda. Justin, what's going on?
Nothing much. I got an invitation from my friend Jersey Watcher to come check you guys out.
Oh, okay. I was like, who's this guy? I'm like, do we have a new guest? Justin, I'm Lefty. This is Chris. This is
Yo.
Jim and Sue. We do a podcast. And yeah, Chris and Bongholio were on earlier talking about how Lavalette is getting sued. Lavalette is getting sued personally because they lost their qualified immunity. So Bongholio is suing the chief, the mayor, and the sergeant, who are all families. The sergeant and the chief are brothers, and the mayor's the father. So they're getting sued personally, not the town. They're not suing the town. They're suing them personally. Oh man, what a shit show down there.
Okay, I'm gonna go off. Okay, you guys have fun.
Well, we're
Sounds
we're
good.
ending the show. Actually,
Oh,
I'm going to
okay.
do the list. I want to thank Mad Hatter for having us. We're having a big event here Saturday. UFC, BKFC all day Saturday. We're going to have a dab bar. We're sitting right now. We're sitting in the dab bar.
That's
This
nice.
This is going to be the dab bar.
Okay, it's nice. I like it.
This will be the best dab bar in New Jersey after this weekend.
It's really nice. I like it.
People are going to freak out when they do dabs off this bar.
It adds a certain touch to the place.
It's got a vibe now.
Yeah, I
So-
like the whole motif.
Yeah, we're happy. So, Mad Hatter, thank you, Mad Hatter, for having us. And we're going to have a huge party this weekend, all day Saturday. Come out to Mad Hatter. We're going to have food here, too, and music and all that. Blunts, everything. CMMNJ, UFCW, ArloGlass, OprahMachine.com, and SativaCross.org, where you can donate $1 or $100. We'll take whatever we can get at this point. Our list begins with Our list begins with Cheryl Miller. Cheryl Miller was a patient with MS. She was the ground zero in New Jersey for medical cannabis. She went out and fought for it when nobody else was fighting. They were by themselves. So they were by themselves, fighting by themselves.
We were.
Just before my time. I mean, I met Jim and Cheryl, but I was just amazed at what I learned from Cheryl, watching how the endocannabinoid system works. I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Sabina Rose was a 15-month-old baby who had a 25-hour seizure.
That's called Dravet syndrome.
Yeah. Terrible.
Sad. Very sad.
Diane, Gracie, Cindy Mae, Marie, Jack, Joan, Randy, Polly, Bill, Chad, Jeremy, Colette, Matt, Troy, Russ, Roger, Jay, Ella, Hattie, Jackie, Anthony, Jake, Armando, Felicia, Lynn, Dan, Sean, Joyce, Lori, Frank, Brian, Flo, Carl, Thorne, Frank, Lorraine, Terry, Charlotte, Cher, Jaybird, Michael, Marley, Colette, Brendan, Red, Rico, Lou, Becky, Lawanda, Chip, Paul, Lisa,
My
Mark.
daughter.
Yes. Marcus, Gary, Julia, and Jeff.
Thank you.
This brings it all home. This is why we do what we do. These are people that waited for cannabis, still waiting for cannabis. Or a lot of them got cannabis and still waiting for home grow, that's for sure. Still waiting for compassion, which our government does not give us. We've been fighting our government for hundreds of years. They've been doing dumb stuff, and they're still doing dumb stuff. They have a history of doing dumb stuff in this country. It hasn't stopped yet, unfortunately. All right. Well, Sue, see you. You coming Saturday to UFC fights? Watch some violence with us? Come on, do some dab.
No, I have protests.
Oh, that's right. You're going to protest.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, after the protest, come on up and do some fights.
Okay.
Dukes and
Steam
dabs.
out.
Okay. If I'm not arrested,
Put him up. Put him up.
I might be in El Salvador by then. That ain't even funny, and we're laughing, right?
Yeah. It's a scary laugh, I think. It's
Uh.
nervous.
It is scary. It is scary.
I've been this computer, the connection's been shutting down here every time I disappear. It's just because you all disappear and everything slowly goes in. It just reboots itself somehow. It's not the connection to StreamYard. It's something to do with the connection to a service itself. So, oh well.
Yeah. Well, you just missed the list, so you missed feeling like shit. Sorry.
No, don't worry. I feel like shit. I got that covered.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Osmosis.
No,
We
my
just have to rub it in a little bit.
All right. Well, anyway, just on the letter side, Susan got out her last letter in the most recent in her email trail with her Senator Moriarty in its entirety. You know, the one that I. So it's going to be very interesting to see how he responds. Because shortly, I mean, I can just put it. Joanne said I can just put it up on letpatientsgrow.com. She's not really like ready for a dedicated whole spot and everything. I'm like, I told him to take a week to 10 days. I wanted him to like sweat a little bit, you know. Plus, I wanted like in the summation, when I say she funnels it, it works great, you know. But she said in the last thing, sure, July 9th.
Screen freeze.
There he goes with the connection problem again.
Oh, he just.
Yeah,
We can hear you.
There you go again. All right. Well, we are going to end the show with or without you, Jim. Maybe you're half with us. Maybe like the transporter when Kirk and Scotty get stuck halfway in the transporter and they become like, you know, they become each other. Good night, Jim.
Good night, Jim.
Good night, guys.
Good night. I love you guys.
Love you. They went with songs to the battle. They were young, straight of limb, true of eye, steady in the glow. They were staunch to the end against odds uncounted. They fell with their faces to the foe. They shall grow not old as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. Thanks, everybody. Good night.
Good night. Thank you. Love you.